Today we will talk about the moderator's responsibility, which is very important and critical part of any organization, and without their support it is impossible to run the conference smoothly based on the given time management and assure that the quality of the conference is there. To be able to go through this responsibility, before that I would like to share with you in general moderator's responsibility, which are three main tasks. One of them is to be sure that the participants are all there and are all mute themselves, and if in case somebody's let's say didn't mute, so you can mute it from here. And also if somebody is sharing their screen, for example here John is sharing his screen with a green button that you can see immediately recognize that someone is sharing, so you can immediately come here and stop sharing from there. Apart from that, we will talk about the share screen, that how you can share your screen, just a PowerPoint file, not screen share, from that bottom, and from here you will be able to stop your sharing. Apart from that, there is another part which is let's say recording or stop recording, which may
Recording
exist there,
stopped.
that you can come from here and let's say record in the meeting exactly on the desktop, on the computer, not in the cloud. And these are the three main tasks that you need to be aware. And now let's go to the PowerPoint and all detailed responsibilities that we need to be aware about, that which is, let's say, conference program will be given to you, and there you will be able to find session A, B, C, D, E, and also the opening ceremony. And else, if you click on it on the assigned time on that session, you will be able to enter to that session which is dedicated to each individual moderators, and user and password is there. If in case the hyperlink there it didn't work, you will be able to add the passwords manually to the Zoom to be able to enter to that specific session. There will be 4 parallel sessions or 3 parallel sessions depending the conference. We will have what you need to be aware about: the number and the names of the session chair and co-chairs and the author's name. And in your session before starting, make sure that all the authors and session chairs and their names are also there, so they are attended. So if, for example, you need to know immediately Dr. Sapma, to be sure that he is there, Dr. Osama and Dr. Ashikul are there. And if the time is already 11:30 in this program, immediately inform them that dear Dr. Sapma or dear Dr. Osama, your session is started, has already been started, and you can start your session immediately. You can warn them based on the timing. The punctuality of the program is very important, that we need to be care about that. So those punctuality and let's say taking care of this technical of this issue will help us to run the conference smoothly. Familiarization of yourself with the event is very important. That's why you need to be there 20 minutes before to check to be sure about your microphone, and also you need to be aware about how to mute and unmute the authors, and also how to stop the authors who violating the law of muting themselves or stopping. They don't know how to stop their let's say PowerPoint sharing, that you will take such responsibility. Apart from that, during the conference, as I mentioned, moderators plays such essential rules that without their support, this conference immediately will halt that stuff, and we may have delay in continuing the organization of the conference smoothly. Each author is going to have exactly 7 minutes, and if you realize that some authors is talking more than 7 minutes, immediately stop to the session, mention to the session chair, and that the time is finished, and they should immediately start their presentation. So you may take a timing per each author, which is going to be 7 minutes, and if it takes more than that, immediately inform to the session chairs. So make sure that the session chairs are starting the sessions immediately. Also ensure that they finish on time. If not, remind them that the next session is going to start immediately. Apart from that, make sure that all the authors are muting themselves, and if not, you are eligible to go to the participant section and click on the person who's talking without unintentionally, or they are talking on the phone, immediately mute themselves. Because we may have hundreds of authors at the same time. That's why we need to take care of the one whose microphone is on. For example, here Mariam's microphone is on, so you can click on it and immediately it will be stopped. And apart from that, so that's why we do one by one manually. We will be in the safe side. Don't click on the mute all because we will have problem at the end. If you do so, please don't touch that one. So keep it the blue button as it is. Then click on the next. Communication and coordination with the authors and chairs is the moderator's responsibility, to be sure that they understood the process very well. Another responsibility that you will have is about the chat button, chat box. In the chat box, please check all the questions one by one and read them, and if it is relevant to the conference, answer them or ask them in private message to send organizers if it's relevant to the future issues, or if it's relevant to the specific issue. Inform the session chairs that there's a question that you need to answer. Ethical and behavioral control of the authors is your responsibility. So if you realize that somebody didn't mute themselves or didn't stop their sharing immediately, let's say stop their sharing, for example, as I mentioned at the beginning, go to authors, you will see that the green button, it means that the author is sharing without permission. So immediately stop that sharing by going to the name and go to the three dots, and from the three dots find the authors, for example John, and go to stop sharings. Sometimes you will have 3 or 4 authors at the same time, so you can immediately go one by one to the authors to stop their sharings. They don't sometimes they don't care, and they may have many let's say issues at the same time. That's why we have to stop their screen sharing if they violating the rules. Normally we will have one sharing in one presentation. If it is more than one in one session, we will find the person who violating the rule, and we will stop their sharing. At the end of the session, we are expecting from the moderators to prepare a folder, and in each folder, for example, day 1 session A, take a screenshot as much as possible with different angles, with different views, with different diagrams, with different let's say all authors at the same time, or enlarge the view so we will see 100 authors at the same time. And last but not least, make sure to record your session by clicking on the record button. Go to record this computer, and don't forget please to unmute the person who's violating the rules. 7 minutes each authors can talk, and if you realize that they are talking more than 7 minutes, inform them. Screen share policy says that if the authors forget to share their screen, moderator will immediately stop their sharing. So you immediately stop their sharing if you realize that the chairman is saying that somebody needs moderator, please stop sharing. So your ears should be directly looking for the moderator. If moderator says stop, you will stop. If moderator told mute that person, please mute that person. So those sharing the screen, as I mentioned at the beginning, you will find immediately if see how we share, and you will inform to the authors that with this way you will be able to share and stop your screening, and from here you will be able to mute yourself. For example, you will mention to the authors, and apart from that, as I mentioned, the microphone policy, if somebody is talking too much, mute themselves. So indeed your corporation ensures the most professional and successful conference. Thank you for your responsibility and commitment that you will have for this conference.